Let's be real for a second. When most of us hear the words human resources, our brains immediately jump to, endless compliance forms, those incredibly awkward annual reviews, and just mountains of onboarding paperwork, right? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're completely reframing that. We are exploring a fundamental evolution where artificial intelligence steps in to reshape the very core of how companies operate, turning the ultimate back-office function into a true strategic powerhouse.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Think about your own organization's HR function for a minute. Is it a visionary strategic architect, or is it kind of just processing paperwork? Historically, yeah, HR has been buried in policy manuals and compliance checkboxes. But the source material we're unpacking today challenges that outdated notion head-on. The era of the paperwork processor is officially ending.
Think about the stark contrast between these two worlds. Traditional HR is fundamentally reactive. It's always putting out fires, bogged down in admin, and hyper-focused on daily operations. It's inflexible. Contrast that with an AI-driven approach. It becomes visionary. It becomes agile. Rather than just supporting the business from the background, it becomes the central driver of organizational change. The core problem for modern businesses has always been inflexibility, but AI introduces unprecedented strategic power.
So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start by looking at the shift from admin to strategic partner, then we'll get into designing the agile organization, predictive talent and culture, mastering life cycles and change, and finally, how HR becomes the architect of organizational resilience.
All right, first up, moving from admin to strategic partner.
Here's where the magic really starts. AI-driven project management frameworks act as the ultimate catalyst. Imagine AI instantly mapping out the wildly complex project management needed for a massive company restructuring. Because the AI is doing all that heavy lifting, human HR teams are suddenly freed up. They actually get to talk to the people affected. They step out of the back office and directly influence the things that determine a company's survival: competitiveness, innovation, and long-term resilience. HR stops managing just the paperwork and starts managing the strategic direction of the workforce.
Moving right along to our second pillar, designing the agile organization.
Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how it takes something historically rigid and makes it completely fluid. For decades, corporate org charts were basically carved in stone, right? They stayed exactly the same for years. But AI-enabled organizational design shatters that rigidity. By constantly reading shifting business priorities, AI helps make the organizational structure dynamic. Imagine an AI realizing a new product launch suddenly needs way more engineers, and it instantly recommends resource shifts on the fly to guarantee maximum agility.
It's a beautifully logical three-step process. First, it continuously analyzes real-time business priorities to know exactly what the company needs right this second. Then, instead of waiting around for some slow, agonizing annual review, it dynamically reconfigures teams right then and there to meet those precise needs. Step 3, total optimization. The structure of the business literally adapts in real time to its goals, ensuring maximum agility and efficiency.
Okay, let's pivot to our third area: predictive talent and culture.
And this brilliantly illustrates a night and day difference in how companies build their teams. Traditional hiring is heavily reliant on guesswork, gut feelings, and desperately reacting to open roles. But predictive talent strategy changes the whole shebang. This is where raw data transforms into human impact. AI integrates deep workforce analytics with broader market intelligence. It doesn't just fill open seats. It aligns hiring, employee development, and succession planning with the exact future demands of the business. It literally future-proofs the workforce.
But it goes way beyond just hiring. AI actually dives into the soft stuff, the culture itself, through cultural transformation mapping. To make this click, think about AI analyzing anonymized communication patterns. That's your behavioral data, alongside anonymous pulse surveys, the sentiment data. It can objectively detect team burnout or a toxic dynamic way before a manager even gets an inkling of it. It totally replaces subjective guesswork, guiding leadership to deliberately shape values and boost engagement.
Let's move to our fourth point and see how this builds into mastering life cycles and change.
We all know change is notoriously hard for any organization, but I find it absolutely fascinating that AI-driven change management can actually anticipate human reactions to organizational shifts. That's wild, right? Before a new policy is even rolled out, AI models how the workforce is likely to respond and then designs tailored interventions to ease those transitions. It doesn't just process data, it genuinely smooths out the organizational bumps before they even happen.
Which brings us to integrated lifecycle orchestration.
AI ensures that every single phase of an employee's journey is intricately connected. Day 1 is talent attraction. Fast forward to month 6, and the focus shifts to a seamless daily experience. Year 2 is all about development and succession. And year 5 and beyond, alumni relations. AI takes these historically disconnected, siloed stages and stitches them together to create one continuous, highly engaging employee journey.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, Architects of Organizational Resilience.
Strategic foresight modeling is arguably the ultimate superpower AI gives to HR. Imagine being able to simulate a market crash or a sudden pivot to a completely new product line. By modeling these alternate futures, HR isn't just a reactive department scrambling to catch up anymore. They become a proactive architect of organizational resilience. So the crucial point is that this predictive ability is exactly what makes the new HR truly visionary.
When you really boil it down, AI acts as the ultimate strategic project manager here. It completely strips away the reactive, always putting out fires nature of traditional human resources. Instead, it ensures HR practices are visionary, fully integrated into the daily life of the company, and perfectly aligned with enterprise goals. It's delivering foresight and pure strategic impact across the board.
Which leaves us with a vital question to ponder. Is your organization actually ready to let AI transform HR into your ultimate strategic engine? The technology is absolutely here, and the strategic advantages are undeniable. If competitors are using AI to build visionary architecture, clinging to the paperwork processing of the past isn't just outdated, it's a massive risk. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep evolving, and I'll catch you next time.